Hey guys, what's up? You're the game here. Today's video will be showing you how to pack a punch on round 1 or how to get the Awaken Gazebo trophy or achievement. So from the starting walkways, you're going to use the slide down to the quick revive room. Next, pick up the remington chalk drawing and place it at the nearby question mark. This will give you 1000 points. The next step is to simply free LeRoy from his jail cell. This can be done by heading away from the barn over this walkway and drop down into the jail. Simply pick up the skeleton key and use it to free LeRoy. Next, use the booze located in the cell to break open the barrier. A key part of this strategy is to locate a second booze container that you will need later. So once LeRoy has broken the barrier, simply look to your left where you found the original container, and if there is booze located there, you are at a slight advantage, so remember where it is. However, if it is not there, you will need to head to the saloon, and I will show you that method later in the video. Next, you are going to shoot and kill 4 zombies, leaving 2 unharmed. A quick tip is to shoot them in the legs until they die, as this will give you extra points. Do not try and stab and kill the zombie, as this could drop a nuke and you may accidentally pick it up, ending the round. Next, you are going to open the door to the general store, where you are going to collect the 4 parts needed to craft the trample steam. The trample steam is a key part of this strategy, so once you've crafted the trample steam, pick it up and continue back into the barn. A quick tip is to remember this pathway into the barn, as you will be using it a lot. Once in the barn, continue over to the broken wall on the left hand side. Place your trample steam here, as this will allow you to jump across this gap. Allow the trample steam to fling you across this gap and continue through the doorway on the right hand side, to which you will need to jump and sprint over to the roof of the gunsmith. Continue down the stairs into the chalk drawing room. You can pick up these drawings in any order, but I do it left to right, as the PDW is the gun I will be entering the mansion with. Once you've picked up one of the chalk drawings, you're going to head to the question mark just outside the jail. Next, you're going to follow that pathway back up by the trample steam crafting area into the barn. Again, use the trample steam to jump across the gap. Continue in to pick up your second chalk drawing. This chalk drawing is going to be placed at the top of the stairs before you enter the room where you crafted the trample steam. Again, continue into the barn and use the trample steam to jump across into the gunsmith. So continue in to pick up your next chalk drawing. Next, continue back over into the barn and pick up your trample steam. Next, you are going to place the trample steam on one of the roofs outside the crafting area of the trample steam. Next, use the trample steam to jump across into the courthouse, allowing you to place the chalk drawing, giving you an extra 1000 points. Now, you will need to continue back over onto that rooftop and pick up your trample steam. Again, follow that pathway back into the barn and place the trample steam in its original location. So for the 4th time, use this to jump across into the gunsmith and pick up your 4th chalk drawing. Now use that pathway back into the barn and pick up the trample steam. Drop down to the bottom floor of the barn and continue through this tunnel section. This is the new pathway you will need to remember. If you follow this pathway, it should give you access to the saloon. Once in the saloon, continue out to the balcony, to which you can place the 4th chalk drawing, giving you an extra 1000 points. The next step only needs to be done if you do not have the booze in the jail cell. So continue back into the saloon and drop down through the broken railing. On the counter or on some of the tables you should find the container of booze. Continue over to pick it up. As my booze was located in the jail cell, I just did this as the demo, to show that even if you enter the saloon and cost an extra 750 points to exit, you will still have enough to pack a punch. Next, continue back up to the balcony of the saloon, to which you will need to jump across to the powerhouse and switch on the power. If however your booze was not located in the saloon, continue back to the jail cell to pick it up. Next, continue up the stairs of the general store, making sure that you have your trample steam with you. Exit out the door of the left hand side and drop down to the other side of the map. Continue over towards the church and the fountain area, to which you will need to give LeRoy the booze, breaking open the door of the church. A quick tip is to give him the booze near the fountain, as the further he is away from a barrier, the more points you will get. Next, continue back over to between the sweet shop and the general store to place your trample steam to jump over this barrier. Next, you are going to follow the pathway back up into the barn, drop down to the bottom floor of the barn and continue along that tunnel section, jumping across into the saloon. Once on the balcony of the saloon, you are looking for the broken railing over towards the gunsmith, to which you will need to sprint and jump across onto the roof of the gunsmith. Continue inside to pick up the final chalk drawing. Next, continue through the general store and use it to gain access to the church side of the map, being sure to pick up your trample steam. Next, continue into the church and up the stairs, to which you can place the final chalk drawing. Once you've placed the final chalk drawing, you will now receive 2000 points. The next step can be done any time between placing the chalk drawings and is dependent on what gun you wish to bring into the haunted house. A few examples are the B23R and the PDW, however you can have one go on the mystery box. As you can see, I chose the PDW. You are now all set to enter the haunted mansion. This can be done by using the trample steam on the right hand side to jump over these rocks. Continue over to open the door for 1250 points. This next part is by far the hardest part out of the whole process, as you have to be sure the ghost lady does not hit you and take your points. The best advice I can offer you guys is to take your time and move forward slowly, being sure to watch around your corners. So what I advise you do is kill a ghost and move a couple of steps forward and wait for the next ghost to spawn. Keep repeating this process until you slowly make your way through the haunted mansion. And once you get used to entering the haunted mansion, you can kind of figure out where the ghosts are going to spawn. So once you've got to this final room, I advise sprinting out and exiting the haunted house. Once you've exited the house, be sure to turn around and kill the final few ghosts that exit, as this will give you a free perk and also you're still at danger of losing your points. Once you've picked up the perk bottle drop, you can now relax. You've made it through the hardest part of this challenge. So the next step you will need to do is simply continue through the maze until you find the gazebo. Just a heads up, the pathway through the maze changes every time you enter the haunted mansion. So the final step is to continue down the stairs of the gazebo into the pack-a-punch room. You are now free to place one of your guns into the pack-a-punch machine, to which you will get the Awaken Gazebo trophy or achievement for pack-a-punching on round 1. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other buried videos above. As always, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date, and please like and favourite this video as it would mean a lot.